I am a creator of habit. This habit started because of an incident when I was 10 years old. So there was this one day when I was 10, I was walking across this open space in my neighborhood. And as a child, I tend to like to look down on the ground when I was walking. So I remember vividly the shape of the tile. It was this weird outline of a Chinese red lantern. So on this day, I was just walking, and I remember seeing a shiny golden coin sitting on the ground not too far away from me. And I thought to myself, what a lucky day. Because a dollar could go a long way back then. So I quickened my pace, trying to get to the coin before someone else swooped it up. But as I got closer, I realized what I was looking at wasn't the dollar I thought it was. It was merely just 5 cents. Not gonna lie, I was a bit bummed. I mean, 5 cents can't do much, right? You can't buy ice cream with it. But what happened next was what intrigued me. I remember seeing this man, he just walked across and over the 5 cents without noticing it. And in my mind, I was puzzled. Why did he just walk across and walk past without noticing? Was it because the 5 cents were too small? Or was it because he see it, but he thought it was too insignificant for him to bend down and pick it up? I wonder if some of you might have noticed the 5 cents that were planted outside. And what were your thoughts when you saw them? Did you think that, hey, it's just 5 cents? Maybe, it's nothing much. And I also wonder, if it was 50 cents or a dollar, it probably would have been long gone. I thought to myself, how many 5-cent coins were there lying around us and we were so oblivious to it? Under the counters at supermarkets or at coffee shops. So at 10 years old, I came up with this great idea. I was going to pick up all the coins I see on the ground and I was going to donate them to charity, and I'll call it 5 Cents Foundation. But obviously, that didn't happen because I was busy playing catching with my friends. And so, fast forward to earlier this year, I was at a self-development course, which I was attending because I felt a little bit lost without direction in life. At one point in the course, they asked us this question: what is your vision for the world? I was puzzled. What vision? I didn't have one for myself, let alone the world. But everyone had to go up and share. So one by one, everyone went up, and eventually it was my turn. I got up to the center of the room, stood front and center, thinking of what to say, when suddenly this idea from 12 years back surfaced, and I went, oh my, I had this idea when I was young, and I totally forgot about it. So I told everyone, I had this idea when I was young, and my vision for the world is to make the world a kinder place. Moving on to the next phase of the self-development program, it was a 3 months long, goal-oriented program. And so I decided that, maybe it's time for me to take action. Maybe it's time for me to turn it into reality and stop making it an idea. So I set out a goal and I started a project. And the aim of the project was never about how much I was going to raise, nor was it about who this money was going to. The purpose of the project was very simple. It was to get people to recognize their ability to give. Just imagine this. You are walking along the streets, maybe in your neighborhood or in Orchard Road, and a student doing flag day carries a metal tin, walks up to you and say, "Hi, sir, ma'am, would you like to contribute?" Maybe you thought that, hey, I don't even have enough to feed myself. How can I even donate, right? But the question is, what is enough? Must it be $2? Must it be 10? When would you have enough? Is it when you own a house, a car, when you have a family? What if you always had enough? What if the 5 cents in your pocket that you think was so insignificant, what if that was enough? Even though a single 5 cent might seem small, when it all comes together, it can go a long way. And that's the premise of this project. To get people to understand that there's nothing too small that you can give, and that every contribution counts. I've heard people say things like, 5 cents so troublesome, so hard to use, I don't like them, and they pass it around. Or people would say things like, uncle, just keep the change, it's just 5 cents. And so to me, it signaled that 5 cents is really insignificant. So I thought, what if I went up to everyone in Singapore and say, hi, can I have 5 cents from you? I wondered how much money I would have. And turns out that amount is close to $282,000. And that's just 5 cents from every single person. Can you imagine that? With just 5 cents from everyone, this is the amount of impact you can create. So with the vision, creating a habit of giving, I started the 5 cents project. And in the first 3 months, we raised more than $700. And that's 14,000 pieces of 5 cent coins from at least 100 people. Until now, we've raised more than $3,500. And that's at least 1,000 meals for elderly cardboard collectors who are the beneficiary of this project. Just imagine how much more we can do if we started noticing the value of the things we always thought were so insignificant. Maybe the idea you thought was too small, not good enough, not developed enough. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe that's all that's necessary. Ideas start small, and they grow along the way. No one ever starts out with a great, fantastic idea all planned out. You learn along the way. And that's kind of how I did it too. So the point here is, don't dismiss that idea that you have. It could be small, sure, but you never know when you would have the opportunity to make it big. And always have the courage to go for it, because you never know until you try. Really, as cliché as it sounds, it's really true. You just got to try sometimes. A piece of advice I find useful for myself is to always remember the intention behind why you're doing what you're doing. Always remember the who and what you're doing it for. And so when you face decisions, face questions, that's how you answer them. You go back to the intention of why you're doing what you're doing. And more often than not, it's easier that way. And this is my 5 cents. Thank you.